All right, and welcome to another episode. This is what, 11?
God, I've lost count.
Yes, almost a year.
Whew, that went by quick.
Yeah, it'll be June, no, May, no, yeah, May or June. Last year is when we started. First episode came out, and now we're running around to the 12th episode. So it'll be almost a year.
So we'd be on the 10th episode.
No, you're right.
Oh,
well. Anyways, welcome to another episode of Geek 2.0 podcast. On this episode, we're going to be looking into securing your home, your family, with the techno gadgets of the future.
Of course.
And today.
Because if you're going to secure it and you're a geek, you're going to get techie with it.
Yeah, he's not going to get a master lock and put it on your front door. That's so old school, man.
Nah. If you can't control it 3 ways from Sunday, it's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't look through your phone, and if you're not there and you can't see, well, why even have it? So yeah, we're going to be looking at the automated, not automated, but the smart technology of the home security system that are out there right now, from like ADT, Ring, Vivint.
Yep.
Vivint. I always get that name wrong.
It's all right. Simply Safe. Plus, there's so many others.
They're the smaller companies. But let's go ahead and jump into it with, let's say, Vivint.
Sure.
How do you say it again?
Vivint.
Vivint.
Vivint. Vivint.
Okay, sure. So this is basically, you can control your home security through your phone.
Yes.
No matter where you are, unless if you have a internet connect device.
Yeah, so it depends on what kind of setup that you have. You have your standard control panel that's in your home. And then depending on what options you add on to it, with a doorbell camera, with security cameras, indoor cameras, and pretty much anything that has what's considered a Z-Wave technology. It's a wireless technology for these devices to communicate with the
a wireless
home
standard.
panel. Yes.
One of the standards.
And it's a secure standard meant for security. Home security. But there's door locks, there are garage door adapters, there are thermostats, there are water sensors, there are all kinds of stuff that all fit within this, that have a Z-Wave component, and therefore can integrate with the security system. You can even, if you wanted to, do your own makeshift security system with this Z-Wave component. They actually have programs that are out there, Linux-based, and
now, can you put it like hook it up to like a Raspberry Pi, or do you need like?
Yes,
okay.
That's a friend of ours actually was looking into doing something like that, and actually had a home automation system that communicated with Z-Wave, so you could take everything that you got with like the Vivint alarm system and then connect it to a home automation system if you wanted to.
Now with that, you're not getting the monitoring, because I'm guessing that it includes monitoring if you buy it from them.
So yeah, if you do it through Vivint, yes, you have the home monitoring.
But if you don't, you're on your own.
Correct.
Which is a lot of different things that companies are doing. They charge you. They'll give you the stuff like at market, the sensors and the control panel for at market price, but charge you more for the monitoring.
Yes, and that's going to, again, depending on what options you get, will change your monthly price. You start getting into more of the expensive cameras.
A la carte bundles. It's the cable industry of security.
But I've got firsthand experience with Vivint, and I absolutely love it. Phenomenal. Great service so far. The actual alarm itself is very loud, works very, very well. And I do like the fact that it's the Z-Wave components, because then I can look around for other things third party, and if I find something I like, as long as it's Z-Wave, I can install it in the house, connect it to the alarm system, and increase the features of the alarm system. That's
awesome. Yeah, because you have that, and it's basically everything. All of this that we're talking about has stemmed from ADT, and how back in the day, for what, 30 years they've been in the business. of home security.
Yeah, they've definitely been in the business for a while,
for
but
decades.
that's also kind of their downside too.
Yeah, because they're kind of like the big name. Everyone knows ADT and security. You see the commercials on TV, you hear it on the radio. Prior to, I guess, the smart invasion, everything was all wire based. You had to have a phone line dedicated to, or have a phone line dedicated for your home security system. We see in the movies where people go to the house or the business and cut the phone line, and it cuts the lights in the homes in the security system. Nowadays, you don't have to worry about that because it's all through your internet connection. It's all wireless.
Which is still kind of funny if you think about it, because then they just cut your cable line, and it's the
you're
same thing.
Well, all of a sudden you playing a game, all of a sudden everything goes out. Yeah. The lights don't go out, but all of a sudden you're like, oh, the cable internet's out. Did he get invaded?
Yeah.
But everything has moved within, let's say, 5-10 years. And now it's like wireless sensors, wireless keypads. Everything's wireless.
Yes.
Another thing is Ring, which I have. And we use a lot. We just have the doorbell. We don't have the extra, all the bells and whistles security system. And that's actually pretty good. Every once in a while I have an issue. I have to call up, or I might have to deal with something where I had to change the power transformer because the original one in the house wasn't working anymore.
Couldn't hold it?
Couldn't hold it. It was original from the 80s.
Oh, okay.
It's only like 10 volts or something. It needs like 24. So I had to deal with that and had to take care of it. But it's working again. But now they also have a outside door lights and cameras.
Yes.
So you have your floodlights and it has a camera, and you can actually talk and have two-way conversation through a doorbell and the lights and all that.
Which is really nice.
Yeah.
It is really nice.
The only downfall is, of course, with all these systems, you have the per-month plan. With Ring, you can do, it's like $30 a year, or so I forget, it's like per month. I think $3 a month, something you can do like that. And not only it goes up to one device. If you want to do multiple devices, you're up to maybe $100 to have up to 10 devices.
A month or
no,
a year?
Per year.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say that. Woo, not worth it.
$100 a year? I mean, a month? Yeah,
no
that's. Now you're talking to like car payment territory.
Yeah.
So a lot of them, and I want to talk about with the, I think it's Canary changed their pricing structure.
Okay.
They used to have a, of course it's like a bait and switch. That's why I think it is. For free, you get your monitoring and your video recordings. It's an indoor camera. Within last year, they changed it before you had to pay per month or per year pricing, and they put everything behind that paywall, so you can't download your videos and all sorts of stuff. It really irked a lot of people when they changed that, because it's like, oh, I get a camera, it's awesome, and I get free recordings. And 6 months later, oh, you want me to pay for this? I can't do night vision now? Well, that's not what I signed up for. So that's just one of the bad things about the dark side of these type of systems.
Absolutely.
They rope you in, all of a sudden, yeah, we're going to change the plan on you. And you have hundreds of dollars of stuff on your house that you can't really change out unless you want to spend more, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Correct, yeah, because anytime you get a different system, they're going to charge you to take down the old system.
Or if you do it yourself, you got to buy all new devices, because it's not Z-Wave or Zigbee, or it's its own proprietary system.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, when we first moved into the house that we live in now, one of the things that actually deterred me away from such a big name like ADT was actually their approach. Like, I get that there's people in our neighborhood that have ADT, and that's fine, good for them. Nothing wrong with it, but within the first couple of weeks, we literally had someone come to our door almost every other day.
Yeah.
And it's getting a little overkill. Like, we're still, at the time, we were just laying floors in the house. Like, we weren't moved in, there was nothing going on in the house. We did not need the constant interruption.
Yeah.
And they were nuts about it. And finally, I told one of because I was looking into other options aside. I was looking into them, but I was looking into the other options. And I was like, look, here's what I'm able to get from this other company. Can you even come close? And the guy literally looked me in the face. He goes, that's a good deal. Can you give me the information on that? And I'm like, just call them. Like, it's not difficult. I'm not some crazy, like...
You don't say, like, hey, I'm Joe from... I'm not from ADT.
Makes me think of, like, the Geico commercials.
Yeah, the other guys from the competitors.
Yeah. But I'm like, you're nuts. Just call them. Like, that's their pricing plans. If you're really so single-minded focused...
There's others out there.
Yeah, so and
especially now.
That's what killed it for me. Was that
well, I don't know if I posted a video of had a I guess a salesman came up to our door. He came up 2 steps. I guess he saw the Ring doorbell on by the door, threw up his hands, turned around, says some choice words, and left. It's like that's just like kind of like a deterrent almost to.
It is, and it's funny too because I can see both sides of the coin with Ring, and it was one of the things that I was looking at was it's nice having that recognition, so people walk up, they know it's there, but at the same side or other side of it, I don't like things to be that obvious.
True.
Rings, it looks nice, like they've done a good job with their design, but it's still very big. You know what I mean? Like
I have to interject because August doorbell. It's basically take like a Coke can, the bottom of it. It looks from the bottom down. It's a little bit bigger than that.
Their lock is
no the doorbell. They have a video.
I know they have a video doorbell.
It's an August doorbell, which is it's a circular design, and it's just weird. It's and all these companies when you look at a consumer, do we really want to say, oh, I see you have the Ring doorbell. I like to get one too because I can see the name brand on it. I mean, it's not like sneakerheads say, oh, you got Nikes, I got Adidas. That's just one of the things that they're constantly putting their name on the device. Yeah, it's like brand recognition.
Yeah,
it gets a name out there.
When you have friends and family over and they see it and they go, oh, what do you think of that?
Yeah.
But like because we have a doorbell camera through our system, and it's what I like about it is unless you knew, you wouldn't like if you knew what to look for.
Well, it looks different than a normal doorbell. The regular ding dong.
It definitely does. But that's kind of what I like about it. Is a lot of people like it. I think we posted a video of it. We had a couple of kids that were playing the ding dong ditch.
Yeah,
and they came up and you could see them looking in the corners for security cameras and look at the doorbell, and they're looking everywhere, and they did not recognize that was a doorbell camera.
Oh, there is so many videos out of kids. Just look for like video doorbell ding dong niche.
It was great to see, and it just that's kind of what I like about it because don't get me wrong, it is nice for people to walk up if they have malicious intent, see it, know what it is immediately, and turn around and walk away. Like that's cool, but there's also something to be said for the opposite, to have them come up, not recognize it, cause their malicious intent, and guess what? Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you got evidence.
Exactly.
And it's a nice thing, too, because it's so many videos of, like, UPS and delivery people just tossing your packages at your front door. I got one, too, where I had a video of the lazy FedEx driver. He comes, just sauntering up, drops the package in front of the door, saunters away. It's like, oh, today was a bad day, I guess.
Yeah, it just wasn't his
like,
time.
I hope my stuff's not broken. But yeah, it's just one of the things that it's part of the security system that has just grown up with the times. Mm-hmm. Now you have the cameras on the outside. Let's talk about cameras on inside your house. Like I said, with the Canary, Nest Cam, Arlo has all these cameras you can put up in your living room, or sometimes people put them in their bedrooms for whatever reason.
Well, and that kind of ties in a little bit with like baby monitors, because there's a line between just standard indoor camera and a specific baby monitor, and a lot of them tend to sell one as the other. Yeah. Just kind of depends. You Google search for one and the same camera pops up regardless. I can definitely see a benefit to it, but I'm just not quite there yet.
Yeah, because you have to be in the mindset that you're constantly on camera. You have to, in the back of your mind, oh, I'm watching TV in the nude. Oh, I'm on camera. And in case someone wants to be like war driving through your neighborhood and hacks into your wireless system.
Yeah, that's exactly it. A lot of people don't have the security on the wireless, or they think they're secure, and it's not very secure at all.
No.
I absolutely know my home wireless right now is it's secure. It's there, but it's not very secure. And I know
if someone wants to break in, they could.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
you have to be targeted. I mean,
exactly. I would 100% have to be targeted for it, and they'd have to be in my neighborhood, basically outside my house. Like they would have to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Am I going to change it? Absolutely. But am I going to do it today? No, I'm lazy.
With everybody else, I mean, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it the next day.
It will get there. It will get there. But
eventually,
I've got a new wireless router. Like, I've got everything there. I'm going to design it from scratch from the beginning, instead of right now with just your generic Linksys with a password, and
just throw it out there.
Yeah, it's just something quick to throw together.
But yeah, it's just one of those things that we want to keep our families safe and feel protected. And in case something does happen, because even with you have all this stuff on the outside, inside your house, somebody will eventually break in. Yeah, okay. Now you have evidence of who they are, what they look like,
what they took.
I mean, all this stuff is like HD 1020, 1080.
Oh, very, very
high
clear.
quality.
Well, and depending on the system you have, you could, for the most part, be viewing it live.
Yeah, because you'll get a notification, motion detected or sound detected. Oh, I can see the neighborhood kids broken in the house. I know where you live.
Yeah, exactly. You'll know who they are, or
I'm gonna get my TV tonight.
Or with security systems, again, like Vivint. And this sounds like we're sponsored by them, but we're not.
No, we're not.
But they're just one of the many that have the same features. But you can actually speak to whoever's in your house through the security system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of the cameras will have that same kind of feature, just may not be as clear as a speaker.
Yeah, he'd be like talking, say, "Hey, just don't rip the cable out, just pull it out, okay? I don't want to replace."
So that also makes a big difference, and with the monitoring, whether you have ADT or Vivint or any of the other ones, when they do that communication, they know instantly that someone's actually in the house, and they tend to get a faster response because of that.
Then they are the ones calling the cops, and a lot of them also have sensors for like smoke and fire. So all of a sudden, maybe you left your oven on, and the cat jumps on it, burns itself, and starts to run through the house, catching everything on fire.
Good God, it's quite the image.
Hey, just imagine it. You left.
I am. That's why I'm laughing.
Flaming cat running around the house. It's possible.
It sure, absolutely is.
So all of a sudden you have your smoke detector going off, and the fire alarm is going off, and your monitoring company has said, "Oh, we're going to call the fire department and the cops," and they'll give you a call, say, "Hey, this is what's going on."
Yep.
So they give you the heads up, so you can leave work, say, "Hey, my house is burning."
We actually had a situation similar to that, not the flaming cat, thank God. But we had the glass break sensor go off, and both of us were at work, and we got the phone call from the alarm system on top of the app on our phone from the alarm system going off, and we were able to pull up in this case, doorbell camera. We're like, don't see anything. But we went, checked it out, everything was fine. Something must have just, when you have tile floors and wood floors, it doesn't take something small metal piece to hit just the right pitch.
Oh, and it's like plastic on a wood floor, like a plastic something container falling on the floor. It does sound very loud.
We had in the middle of the night. We have a big baby gate, and it's got interchangeable panels in it. It's got this metal pole that goes in between each panel. Well, we have it just open instead of completely closed, so we have an extra metal pole that we had just sitting on top of some bar stools in the kitchen. And the cat decided in the middle of the night that it wanted to play with this metal pole, knocked it off the bar stools onto the tile. Glass break sensor. Like 2 a.m. Whew, that's a wake up.
Well, then you wanted to get up at that early, right?
Oh, good God. But we know it works.
Yeah, at least, yeah, you know the system works. See, that's why we have drills. Fire drills, tornado drills. If you didn't test it, how would you know it works?
Mm-hmm.
So we want to say just look at your options because there are so many choices out there. And what you are comfortable with. Do you want your high level of privacy?
Mm-hmm.
Just get automated locks if you want to do that, or get regular deadbolts.
Correct. I mean, there are so many options.
Get the old school.
Really kind of depends on what it is, what you're wanting to get out of it, and what you're willing to put into it.
Yeah.
Like you kind of mentioned earlier, you have the August locks, which I think are awesome. They're just a little on the expensive side.
For now.
But, I mean, to get something like that where you no longer have to hand out physical keys, like, I think that is a great idea. Absolutely.
It is, because how many times have we lost our keys?
Mm-hmm.
If you say, "Oh, I never lost my key," guess what? Yeah, you have. You're lying. Everyone has done that.
Or even if not a matter of losing your keys, if you can set the August lock so that when you get in with within a small range, when you get within a range, it will auto unlock.
Okay. Yeah, geofencing.
So you can actually have it. I mean, who hasn't had their hands full of groceries, a kid, car seat, God only knows, and having to walk to the front door and then set everything down to get the keys out of the pocket to unlock the door. If you're in our case, you got a dog inside who's excited, trying to get out. You're trying to keep it in. Like, it's so much easier in this case to just, you get in proximity, door auto unlocks, you just open up and walk in.
Yep.
So much easier. Like, I think that's great, but again, you got to have the technology. You got to have the understanding that as you do these things, yeah, they're great, yeah, they're secure, but there's always the risk.
Yeah, because you have your wall, let's say wall of security, and you have these little holes being punched in your wall. Yeah, you might feel secure, but if you're going to be targeted, you made someone mad. Mm-hmm. And they have the skills, a certain set of skills.
Or, if you're a single guy that's got the home security system, you got the crazy X, these things happen.
Instead of going to Home Depot, getting new keys and new locks, just change the code through your phone.
Done.
So, you have lots of choices, and the best thing to do is to do your own research. Mm-hmm. What you're comfortable with. What kind of, if you have Amazon Alexa stuff, you might want to look for that stuff that integrates with that. Or if you got Google Home or Apple's HomeKit, it's whatever stuff that you have currently to add on to.
Absolutely.
Instead of you have HomeKit, but you want to use Alexa stuff. Well, they're not going to really talk to each other right now, but maybe in the future they'll work out. But now, you have to figure out which ecosystem you want to live in.
Absolutely. And if you're unsure, ask. You'd be surprised.
Ask us. Ask your friends, family.
100%. We'd love it, actually. But ask around, because you'd be surprised. It's a subject people talk about, but not a subject people really think about until you're in the situation or something bad has happened, and now you're doing reactive.
Or if you're at Home Depot, all of a sudden, I heard about these smart locks, and you're standing in front of the aisle, and I lit this huge amount of smart locks, and of course that's a sales guy. He probably doesn't know.
Or he's told to push a specific
product.
Yeah,
Slag is the best. Yeah. Don't get August.
Yeah. So absolutely, ask around.
So, that's the thing. Ask around. So let's go ahead and move into the main story, or main topic. Now, the main topic is imagination. RPGs and your kids.
That's right.
Let their imagination grow.
Let's get these kids to become productive geeks.
Not the lazy about geeks.
No,
the productive geeks.
That's right.
No, it's you probably, if you watched Stranger Things, or if you listen to the show, you probably know about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
I
would hope so.
Yeah. It's been, since the 70s, 60s that the game has been out?
70s.
70s, okay.
I want to say 70s, yeah.
So, if you don't know, Look it up.
Yeah, so just
Ask your friend. Ask.
just straight look it up.
But it's basically you have a group of people and they go on an adventure using their imagination.
Yes.
And they create characters. They're elves or orcs or humans and night elves.
It's
goblins.
definitely on the extreme end of geekiness. But what's funny about it is a lot of people don't realize how fun it really is until you play. It's amazing.
Because if you can think of the most insane way of going through like a situation. Let's say your party is facing off a 30-foot troll. Okay, what do?
Well, if you're Harry Potter, you try to stick your wand up its nose.
Well, that's not going to work because you need to roll for initiative.
Oh, okay.
And how many hit points do you have? 2. Okay, so let's see what you roll. But it's just one of those things that, okay, you have so many variations of how to confront that particular situation. You can go for the serious, I am going to do the magic spell of blah, 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 and throw a huge fireball at it.
Well, it's one of those things. It's been around forever. It's something that a lot of people are aware of, but it has become a little more well known in the mainstream. Yeah. Kind of like how your comic books were, it was always been around. There's always been a fan base for it. Then all of a sudden they start making movies about it and the fan base blows up and it becomes popular.
Yeah, because more people that didn't know about it say, what's this cool thing? That seems awesome.
Yeah, so Stranger Things has definitely put quite a popular spin on it and has brought a lot of attention to it. A lot of people don't even realize in E.T., in the very beginning of E.T., that's what they're playing, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, like it's been there forever. Just people don't, either they know about it and they think of the extreme end of the geekiness, or they don't even quite realize that that's what's going on.
Nerds. Yeah, but think about it. It's like you feel like, I'm going to get bullied and made fun of for doing this. Well, guess what? You can turn it back. Say, Bill, you do your fantasy football, right? That's the same thing, buddy. You're looking at your
fantasy sport is along the same lines. You got the same thing with crap, I just lost it.
It's there. It's right there. I can see it.
No, it's not. Oh well, we'll move on.
You're lying.
Yeah, it's gone.
But yeah, it's just to get your. It's so much because kids do this already. When you see them playing, they're making up these weird stories and
absolutely
they got characters and they're using their imaginations.
You got the little Barbie dolls and they're making up all kinds of little stories, or the G.I. Joes, or you're out playing even Cowboys and Indians back in the day. Yeah, that was all role play, which that's what this is role play. Just there's more stats, there's more numbers, and you roll dice to figure out if you make anything. Like it's so much more in that world.
Yeah, because you can't go say, well, I'm going to slice across your stomach with my broadsword. Well, no, because I have invincible armor on. Well, that's not fair. No, you use your stats and you have your dice to figure out, okay, and all of a sudden you rolled a 1. Well, yeah, exactly. Instead of trying to push the ogre off the edge, you just give it a gentle hug.
A nice little tickle.
But yeah, it's just one of these things that you have here a book. It's like the ABCs of RPG.
Yeah, so it
gets them started on the right path.
I was so excited when I saw this. Having my little one who's almost a year now. I absolutely wanted to do something to kind of introduce her to this world, because it's something that I hope, and we'll see how she is when she gets older, but I hope it's something that she's going to enjoy, and it's something that her and I can enjoy together. So I figure, why not start simple? So with most little kids within the first year or two, you always have those simple, ABCs, A for apple, B for, whatever, boat. Yeah. So basically this is the same thing, but it's all about RPGs. And so it goes through, like, A is for adventure, and I'm not reading the whole story. There's
story time with Cho.
No, we're not going through that. G is for game master, and all that stuff. I think they have O for owlbear, which is Awesome. Yep, there it is. So it kind of introduces them to the world and, small little key phrases that are within the game. And it kind of gives them something to go, well, what is this? To get them interested. And then once they get to a point where they actually want to play, there was just recently, there was an article about RPGs specifically for younger kids that's being developed out there.
Well, I like to see that the Pokemon card game is in some way.
Yeah, to a degree, I could agree with that, because you have your numbers, you have your stats, and it's card versus card. And every kid knows that if their point value doesn't match up, then they don't win.
Like, and they learn the math and like 2 + 2 or whatever. It's a good way to learn certain things. Same thing with RPGs. Now with like going in a full-blown D&D campaign with your kid, you're not going to all of a sudden just say, hey, let's do this and have a good 2-year campaign every week or every other week.
I mean, if you're dedicated, you will.
Yes. And you go have permadeath.
Yeah.
And if your DM doesn't like you, well, the boulder is going to roll on top and kill your character. That's just one of the hardships. You don't want to make your DM mad.
No, you always bring
they control everything.
Always bring them a chocolate or a cookie.
But this is one of the things, okay, how would you go about a slow ramp up, or like I said, full tilt to the wall?
See, for me, I would think slow ramp up. I would like to, the way that I'm hoping to go about this is not only introduce them obviously to the world through books and stories, and I'm sure they're going to see me play with my friends, at the house, and they're going to want to roll the dice. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're not really going to know what's going on, but they're just going to want to roll the dice because it's fun. And it's going to be a slow introduction. But then outside of that, just your standard board games. Get them used to sitting down and playing a game that's built for kids. Old school Candyland.
Which is the best, yeah.
Yeah.
Chutes and Ladders. I mean, the game of life.
Yeah, absolutely. Those, in a sense, are kind of small versions of role-playing games.
Because we played the game of life. And it was always fun because when you get to the point where you start having kids in the game, you play with your kid. All of a sudden, I got a son, and I was like, oh, his name is Pablo. He's my adopted son from Argentina. And I just played it all throughout the whole game. It's like, me and Pablo are millionaires. I'm a movie star.
I like it.
Yeah, so you start from the simple beginnings of that.
Of course. And that gets them used to sitting down and playing a game start to end for a period of time, to get them used to sitting down and playing an RPG over what's usually a longer period of time.
Yeah, a couple hours if you want to do it right.
Depending on how well and how bad you roll. Yeah.
Well, if that fight is a quick fight or it goes into a long, drawn-out battle.
Oh, we've had quite a few that were supposed to be much longer that ended up in 1 or 2 rolls.
But is this also? It doesn't have to be like Dungeons and Dragons. You can.
Oh, absolutely not.
You can do like Star Trek. You can do any kind of genre.
Oh, they have one. It's Mutants and Masterminds. It's all superhero based.
Champions Online is a RPG board type of game.
Absolutely.
Before the video games came.
They've got your Star Trek. They've got your they've got like zombie ones. We actually did a homebrew one where we played ourselves in the zombie apocalypse. That was fun. They've got Star Wars. They've got that version. That's quite interesting, actually. There's all. Now,
is it prequel Star Wars or original
spinoff?
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't talk about the prequel.
Those are kind of.
I want to play Padme.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Tatooine because it's sand, it's coarse, and it's grainy. It gets everywhere, whatever the quote is.
I'll play Anakin, but I'll get the high ground this time.
Well, you're not going to kill all the younglings?
Oh, no, I'll still do that. Just when it comes time, instead of getting yelled at for not having the high ground, I'll actually take the high ground. Or, jump to the left or the right.
But did you roll good for it?
Well, we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, the dice are not for you today.
That's fair. They were usually not. But I think it's something that kids could absolutely enjoy. And my hope, keyword hope, is that it's something that, in this case, my daughter will absolutely enjoy and will play with her friends. Like, to see that get transferred on to the next generation is what's going to be really exciting for me.
Now, the latest thing I've seen is with YouTube and everything, and when Geek and Sundry first started on YouTube, how many years ago, they had a show called Tabletop, still hosted by Will Wheaton.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed after a few months of that show being on YouTube, Target was carrying the games, and they had a sticker as seen on Tabletop. Before you go walk through the toy aisle, all you see is like the big players, Life, Monopoly,
yes,
Chutes and Ladders. But now you got like Settlers of Catan, all these Kickstarter board games out there.
Especially Target's actually been really good about that.
Really good at that.
I mean, they were selling. What was that one? What's the one? Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah,
which is kind of surprising for what it is.
It's a fun game.
Oh, it's a great game.
Excuse me.
But they really are carrying a variety, which is very cool. Very cool of them.
Which it gets the mainstream people that walking by. Mm-hmm. Oh, what's this game? This looks, by the box art, looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And that draws you in. Oh, well, the game is actually fun.
Oh, and that's absolutely the best way to start. I mean, it's interesting to me, and it could be just where things are currently with my own life. Having a 1-year-old, the thing's been kind of crazy. But family fun time, like the actual sitting down with friends and family and playing board games, seems to be making a comeback, which is really, really cool. Yeah, for the past many years, it wasn't there. Yeah, at least it didn't seem like it was. Yeah. So it's, to me, get together with a group of friends and just bring a random game and play. Be surprised the kind of fun that's out there. I actually got a couple of new ones that I'm waiting to try out. I got the Exploding Kittens. I've heard of that. I haven't played it. I haven't played it yet either, but I have it. And then I also got the Cyanide and Happiness comic strip game. Oh, really? Because I read them all the time, but I didn't know they had a game coming out. Yeah. It's just like Cards Against Humanity. Okay. Except Cyanide and Happiness cartoon. So every card is a panel, and everyone has a handful of panels basically, and you would lay down 2 panels, and then everyone lays down the third part of the panel to complete the strip, and then whoever gets the best one wins. Yeah. The funniest one. Yeah, exactly. Or the most socially awkward one. However, it depends on the people you're playing with. Yeah, what their rule set would be at that time. Absolutely. So one of these days we're going to end up doing that. I know that, but I'm having a hard time trying to control myself when it comes to new games that are out there. Just recently, I ended up getting the Fallout board game, the tabletop game for Fallout. Okay. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. Does it come with like a Pip-Boy? Or you get like the little figures? You get little figures, so you could play a super mutant or a ghoul or a vault dweller or anything like that. But it's really interesting. I played through it with a friend of mine, and actually Cliff, who was on the show. Mm-hmm. We played through it to see what it was like, and it's very interesting because it's not competitive. Okay. So it's not like me versus you, but it is only one winner. Okay. But it's not so like I couldn't attack you directly in that sense. But it just like within Fallout, if you play that franchise, it's whoever comes out on top, like in the Fallout 4. Has the most supplies. In Fallout 4, you can be either the Brotherhood or Minutemen or the Institute or something like that. Mm-hmm. Those factions are still within this game. Okay. But those factions can win whether or not you've joined them. So the Brotherhood of Steel could end up winning the game, but me and you could lose because we weren't a part of the Brotherhood of Steel. Or I
because
could
they had a better chance of getting more stuff.
They gained an influence throughout the game through the choices that you make. The choices you make actually affect the game. It's
choices like have consequences.
Yeah, it's a choose your own adventure board game. Basically, it's like I said, it's a lot at first, but it's actually really, really cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I definitely have to check that out.
Yeah. I have to really watch myself because I'll find like these games. I'm like, ooh, that'd be cool. But then it's like $60 for a board game, and oh my god.
Well, a lot of them are they're Kickstarter or Indiegogo. Mm-hmm. That's now like this huge thing for these independent game makers starting up because, like I said, you had your big boys like Monopoly and Mattel and whoever, Parker Brothers. Now you have these small team of people putting together a game, and they put it on a Kickstarter and say, "All right, here's our stuff, and we think it's awesome. Give us money so we can make it even better and get it out there."
There's speaking of which, I actually saw just a couple of days ago. I was at Walmart, and again, just because this is what I am, I go up and down the toy aisles just to look, But I always make a point to stop in the Lego aisle and the games aisle. Those at minimum, if I'm in a rush, I have to go down at least those two. So I was going down the games aisle just recently, and they have a Monopoly that's actually made for younger kids.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily the Monopoly we're used to. That's
right. Now they also have the Cheaters edition.
Yeah, that looks interesting.
So if you have someone in your family that is constantly trying to cheat,
this is the game for them.
And yeah, the rule set on that is pretty funny.
You have to cheat in the game, and the whole point is to not get caught.
Yeah.
But the kids version is they have a little. How Monopoly's been going recently with electronic.
I think I have a version here, Monopoly kids version here.
But they've been going with like the credit cards and stuff like that. It's kind of along those lines, and they have a little computer system, like a little tablet thing that you can play the game with. So as you do the money part of it, it will actually go through the mathematics of it to kind of show
the
them.
Kids, yeah, they're not overwhelmed.
Correct, and they're not trying to where they get flustered because you're trying to teach them.
So you owe me 20
economics.
Come on.
You're trying to teach them economics in the middle of a board game. They can still play the game while the economics goes on, and then they can learn as they grow.
Yeah.
So it was I thought that was actually really brilliant of them. My biggest problem, I love Monopoly, but there are so many different flavors of it. It's the same game, but just so many flavors.
That's just the physical versions. There's so many versions on that alone, not counting the game, mobile games, video games. It's like, how many times Monopoly is is a monopoly. Everyone knows Monopoly.
Yes,
that's like the one thing everyone knows. PB&J, rock music, and Monopoly, and apple pie.
All great things. All great things.
America.
But yeah, so I'm getting excited for the kinds of games that we can play. My wife and I, within the past couple of months, we're actually trying to look at what the age limit for those, because we wanted to start trying to play games, knowing that she's only a year. She's not going to know. You know what I mean?
But get on the ball. Come on.
To introduce her to it, to see the board games, hold the pieces, even if she's just chewing on the tip of a sorry piece. You know what I mean? And all of them, her mother and I freaking out because she might swallow it. If it's something along that's fine. But it's something she will grow up.
Well, you can use her as a piece.
Those pieces. No, maybe makes sense.
You can put on a board game. Don't move.
Yeah.
Tell 1-year-old not to move. Please.
But it'll just be nice, for her to have memories of, she's obviously not going to remember being 1 year old, but when she's 3, she's going to have a memory of when she's 2. You know what I mean? So she'll grow up with those memories, and they'll just grow with her as she does.
Yeah, and she'll be already knowing how to play or have the basic understanding and say, oh, well, this is fun. This is a fun thing to do.
It's going to be just a normal part of life. Yeah. It's not going to be we go 5-6 years and all of a sudden go, you know what? Family game night, we're going to play a board game. And she's so used to playing video games or, being on the phone or God only knows, you know what I mean? That sitting down and playing a board game is going to be just draw.
Yeah.
If she's grown up with
being forced to do it.
Yeah, if she's grown up with it where we're playing game nights or board games, and even if she's not involved, if she's playing with her toys, but the family, myself and all of her quote-unquote uncles, and the friends of ours, that come over
Right.
are playing games, it's just going to be a normal part of life, and she's going to want to include herself and go from there. At least that's what I'm hoping.
Never know, and then all of a sudden she's like, "I hate you!"
Yeah.
Slam the door, goes running off.
Teenage years, yay.
Deep sigh. But yeah, it's one of the things. Also, looking at is the bring it into the mainstream with like TV shows. Like I mentioned earlier with Geek and Sundry. If you watched it, you can watch them on Twitch, and they have a show called Critical Role, which is a D&D based campaign game that they televise. And it's actually highly entertaining. It's not for kids; it's for adults. But it's just something fun to do, and it's fun. Not fun to do, but it is fun to do.
It's fun to watch.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, those are like voice actors that are playing that. So as they're playing the characters, they are voicing their characters.
They're voicing their characters, and they're in character, sometimes to very funny effect.
Well, that's like the one that I like to watch is Acquisitions Incorporated, which is a once a year thing through PAX, and just absolutely hilarious. But I don't see why. I mean, depending. I don't see why kids couldn't watch that. And I'm sure there might be others out there.
Oh yeah.
And that's probably the way that it's going to end up going.
Well, actually, right now, if you pull up Twitch right now, you can go to there's a board game section, and there's a creative section where they do have all the different channels set up. They do D&D, different people who do it. And they have all sorts of stuff, and they broadcast playing board games and stuff like that, and to their fans and people who watch. And it's growing. I mean, it's not just watching people play PUBG and Overwatch. It's people playing board games or doing D&D now.
See, and it's really funny because like I could sit and watch someone play a game like D&D. I could sit and watch someone play that no problem whatsoever. That's entertaining for me. Watching someone play Counter-Strike or, Call of Duty or, Grand Theft Auto, any of those games, not as entertaining to me.
You have to watch the right one, though. It's all dependent on the presenter and how they're portraying themselves out of it. I mean, you'll sit there, watch some, I've seen it so many times, people just sit there and play a game with their camera on them, just playing a game, not saying anything. Okay. Okay. Well, this is what I'm gonna do over here. Oh.
Yeah, I'm already bored.
And then you got people like Dr. Disrespect, his whole character, and all sorts of different characters, and people who play these off-the-wall characters. Make their streams more entertaining.
That's fair.
And they bring in thousands of viewers and dollars, and it's just ridiculous.
It is crazy.
Or you got people on YouTube making videos. It's the same concept, but it's not live. It's just basically they crop down their gaming session to more entertaining parts of it. They play like Five Nights at Freddy's, and they do the jump scares. Go over the top with that. But a lot of the stuff going back into the board games is getting bigger.
Yes, absolutely.
It's more mainstream. It's if it gets past, like, let's say Twitch and into YouTube into more like TVs and movies, is the same thing will happen with the superheroes and the comic books. More and more people see it, think, oh, that is not as geeky and nerdy as I thought it would be, but
yeah,
that might be interesting to do once or twice, and they do it once or twice. Oh, now they're every week doing the same thing.
Well, with the rise of the geek culture that has been going on for a while now, I almost wonder if this is going to be kind of the next step? Is this going
It's
to
like
be
a renaissance.
Yeah, in a sense, is it going to be accepted to do this, or is this going too far?
I don't think it's gone too far because, yes, you still have TVs and movies that do the tropes like the geeky kids getting teased for playing D&D. It's like, oh, they always have the nerdy glasses and the overall, not the overalls, but the suspenders. But I don't see it's going too far.
Okay.
It's going to go to a point where all of a sudden it's be accepted. Say, oh, you play D&D? Yeah, well, I play football. Okay.
So I'd be curious to find out what you guys think.
If you have any kind of, if you do like broadcast board games, or just let us know your channels or anything like that.
Absolutely.
And we'll be more than happy to get the word out for you.
Yeah.
And even watch you.
Maybe, if you're entertaining.
We'll watch. I'll put a follow on you. I'll bump your numbers up.
Okay, he's nice. I'm not.
We'll go cop, bad cop. We'll play it that way. But yeah, or if you know, or if yourself are making a game that you want to get the word out, let us know.
Absolutely. We'd love to give your game a spin.
Yeah. We'll probably even do like a video on playing it.
Let's not go crazy.
Oh, come on. See, good cop, bad cop.
Yep.
But yeah, let us know. Let us know on our Facebook page. We got a Facebook group that is pretty active. You want to get with everybody else? If you have ideas or anything else that you want us to cover or talk about or ignore, definitely let us know. Also on Twitter, let us know on there as well. All right, well, thank you for listening in and joining us on another episode of the Geek 2.0 podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Joe.
And we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for listening to this episode of Geek 2.0 podcast. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Geek 2.0 podcast. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Geek20 podcast. Don't forget to visit our website at geek20podcast.com for older episodes, news, and much more. And make sure to subscribe to our podcast through your favorite podcatcher player of choice. The Geek 2.0 podcast is part of the Collective Network.